If you are one of the many people worrying about the damage new technologies could do to food and farming, you're not alone. And now, there's a new reason to worry. A silent earthquake is fracturing our food systems. These new cracks are spreading all the way from giant corporations in the United States of America through the industrialized farming system and food supply chains, heading for seeds, shop shelves, and the food on your table. Whether we grow, sell, or buy food, we're all going to be affected by these rapidly spreading trends. So what's really going on? At first, we learnt of recent mergers between already huge companies in the seed and agrochemical sectors, like Bayer Monsanto. But that is just part of the story. Giant agribusiness firms with names like Bayer, Corteva Agriscience, Syngenta Group, and BASF are now being joined by other equally powerful corporations from outside the food world who want to shape the food system to serve their interests. Giant investment firms that most people have barely heard of have been buying up shares in food and agriculture corporations, gaining enormous influence over their future development. A snapshot from 2016 showed that already the world's 5 biggest investment firms all owned a slice of all the 5 largest seed companies. Does this matter? Yes, it does. It is fueling an even greater dominance by a handful of corporations, which now threatens to reshape the entire global food and agriculture industry to feed the interests of company bosses and shareholders. They have no intention to protect small farmers or people's health, only to fatten the wallets of these bosses and shareholders. It means that the corporations don't need to compete with each other because they have common owners, so they can push their prices up, making everything more expensive for the rest of us. But they are not only interested in food. They are investing in the technologies that collect data too, and together they have plans about how to use the data they gather to make money. It all begins with a total transition to automated digital farming. Big finance and technology companies want farming to go online whether farmers like it or not. And all sorts of things are in the pipeline. A combination of drones, 5G networks, and internet satellites are taking to the skies across the world, forming the backbone for digital farming. The food system is full of things that can be turned into data. There's genetic material in seeds, water and soil data on farms, data about moving produce from fields to factories to the dinner table, and of course, all the data about what is sold and who buys it. For example, there are even commercial operations already underway, using facial recognition to monitor herds of cattle and pigs. Other plans on the digital farm include using remote sensing, computer-generated data, satellites and drones, driverless tractors, and robotics. Whoever gathers this data will gain immense power and influence in today's world, where data is hoarded and traded for big rewards. Farm machinery companies are also teaming up with data processing companies and drone manufacturers, as well as pesticide and seed companies. They are investing in digital tech platforms to make sure they don't miss out on this bonanza. So where does all this leave farmers? At the moment, it looks like farmers will have to adapt to complex digital technologies, losing their skills and their privacy and decision-making about what happens on their farm, and even the right to repair their equipment. If digital farming goes big, it's likely to increase companies grabbing land from peasants and destroying forests and other parts of nature. Combine tractors are already displacing peasant farmers and farm workers. The use of drones and other digital technologies are already beginning to make this worse. The big changes in the food system are not only taking place on farms. Off the farm, huge internet-based giants are already getting involved further up the chain around online food retailing. They are increasingly able to influence who eats what, and therefore what farms grow. Ruthless companies like Amazon, Flipkart, and Alibaba are well known for taking down whole industries and dodging billions of dollars in tax payments. In 2018, US-based Amazon made $11.2 billion in profit, but paid no federal taxes in the US. That is part of why Amazon CEO, Jeff Bezos, became the richest person on the planet during the pandemic. Amazon and Walmart are battling for supremacy in the US and in India, where Walmart bought up Indian digital retail company Flipkart. Alibaba and Tencent are battling for control of China's exploding $75 billion food delivery market and across Asia and other developing regions. These retailers are also partnering with giant tech firms to gain access to their automation, robotics, and voice technologies. In fact, Amazon is itself a driving force in the tech world. It owns the world's largest remote cloud computing services company, Amazon Web Services, or AWS, which sells artificial intelligence and facial recognition technologies as well. AWS has made up the bulk of Amazon's operating profits for the last several years. Amazon uses the money it makes from selling shoes, books, and cloud computing to break into food and agriculture. China's Alibaba and Tencent are also taking the same path. Combining artificial intelligence with online grocery shopping is very beneficial from Amazon's point of view. It gains vast amounts of valuable data about what its users eat every day, and then uses the results to individually target us and push us to consume yet more of their products. By analyzing data about our behavior, companies are creating psychological profiles they use to manipulate us and shape our choices. In fact, the whole industrial food chain as we know it is changing fast. These big data companies are becoming big food retailers and vice versa. It is time to break up, regulate, and control these giant companies before the earthquake they have set in motion becomes unstoppable. They are not part of the post-pandemic solution, even though they like to claim they are. And it's time to assess the pros and cons of these new technologies in an inclusive and transparent way, so that we can all have a say in what technologies are developed and for whom. Because data, all those swelling banks of ones and zeros that make up digital data, is not the same as intelligence, and it certainly doesn't guarantee wise choices. The wisdom that we need to feed ourselves is not to be found in corporate-controlled computers. We don't need to rely on them when we have farmers' knowledge and community knowledge, which these corporations don't value. Localized, diverse, peasant, and agroecological food systems provide the answer. Decentralizing control and democratizing food systems is the key to feeding ourselves in a way that is fair and can be sustained for many generations to come. It works for farmers, it works for local economies, it produces nourishing food, it protects our diverse natural world, and it will help to stop future pandemics. If we grow our food in a way that protects small farmers and peasants' knowledge, rather than the profit margins of mega corporations, working in harmony with our environment and with local communities, we will all benefit.